This
Preeti,
conference will now be recorded.
also joining for this meditation. Thrilled to share this with you. So, friends, today I'll first start with a story, if that's okay with you. I love sharing stories, and sometimes these stories really carry the message, and we remember these messages so much more beautifully. So, this story is about Buddha and his closest disciple, the one who used to be with him all the time, Ananda, who was also his cousin. And Buddha, during his time, used to travel from one village to the other. They would just walk through the forests from one place to the other. And Ananda would always accompany him wherever he was. So one day, as Buddha was walking and Ananda, who was much younger to him, was with him, they reached a forest and Buddha was feeling a little thirsty. So Buddha requested Ananda to go back. There's a river that they had just passed by, to go back to this river. And all they carried was a begging bowl. So he gave him his begging bowl. He said, "Can you please bring me some drinking water from that river that we have just left?" Ananda, of course, took the orders. He went back there. And as he went back there, he saw that the water was very muddy. It was all brown with a lot of mud and everything else in it, leaves. So he just came back empty, with the empty bowl. And he told Buddha, "Buddha, I will just go further ahead. I'm sure there will be a river close by. I will go there and I will bring you drinking water from there." So Buddha asked him what happened. And he described to him what happened. He said this water was not really worth drinking. So I'll go and get from there. Buddha, the master that he was, never wanted to lose one opportunity to teach. He said, "No, Ananda, I want you to go back to that same river. Go back there and bring water from there." Ananda was a little perplexed here because Buddha was not really a stubborn person. But he knew that when he was saying this, there was some reason hidden behind. He said, "Okay, I will go, master." And just as he turned, Buddha said, "Ananda, if the water is still muddy and brown, sit there outside the river. Don't enter. Wait sitting outside there. Let the mud settle down, and then you bring the clear water for me, that water which is worth drinking." As Ananda went there, he realized that the mud was much lesser. It was almost settling down. 5 minutes he just sat there by the side. Not only did the water settle down, but in these 5 minutes it became so clear to him why Buddha had insisted that he go back to that same river. Buddha was really reminding him the sutras of meditation in this. Friends, this meditation is the most important thing, really, that helps us to connect with ourselves. So, of course, as Ananda just realized it, I will just share some of the insights from these stories. So, our mind is just like this river, where what had happened just before Ananda had gone was some carts had passed. Now, our mind sometimes is just so full of thoughts which are not necessarily also creative thoughts. But the mind, which is a little monkey kind of a mind, is jumping from here to there and it's full of all the traffic, all the noise. It's really not worth even producing anything. It's not really in a creative state. And of course, it is not something that's healthy for us. So, what really Buddha gave him the insight was that at this time, don't jump in there. Sit by the side. Allow it to settle down. The mind's nature is, of course, to think, but when it's really going like here and there with the monkey, we need to also become masters to our mind. And how do we really get the mastery? We don't jump in there, because when we try to jump in and try to settle in the thoughts, if we try to tell ourselves we don't think for 10 minutes now, the dirt will be furthermore, the mud will be furthermore. So all we need to do is settle down by the side. The second sutra is doing nothing. What is meditation? Meditation is really doing nothing. Taking out that time for yourself where you're really not doing anything. At any other time, when we try to not do anything, the mind is still working. So Buddha said, sit by the side, don't do anything, just watch. What is this quality of watching that we do? The watching is really without any kind of judgment, without judging that, oh, this thought is such a beautiful thought. I'm such a noble person thinking such noble thoughts. Or criticizing oneself. I'm such a bad person. How can I be so jealous? I didn't know all these kind of jealousy thoughts were there in me. So typically, we are such that if we start looking at our mind, at our thoughts, we immediately start to judge. That's the reason why our elders or anybody ever said that idle mind is devil's workshop. If we try to sit idle, we start seeing also the devils that are there within. But we need to really see them at some point. So meditation is really the quality of sitting where we are not judging, where we are allowing it to settle down. We don't have to get attached to the good thoughts. We don't have to get attached to the bad thoughts or fight against the bad thoughts. What does this do? This really helps us to go into a relaxed state. All the other time where we are actually just spending energy, even when you're now watching me, not really doing anything, I'm sure your mind has gone here and there, 5 different places. I'm sure that when you're even listening to me, you're spending energy. The only time that we actually receive energy is just when we are sleeping, where from the beta state of mind that we are in right now, where there are fast waves, we are really going into the delta, where there are very slow waves in deep sleep. Now, when we start actually practicing meditation, we start going into the slower wave patterns. In another Sangha, I'll talk more in detail about these wave patterns. But we are really going into the slowing of the brain waves, which is a very relaxing state. And in this relaxing state, we actually start receiving the energy. The energy that is all around us, all the empty space that we see actually around us is full of also cosmic energy. All the healing happens only because of this energy, when we receive this energy. So the advantages, also a big advantage of practicing meditation is also healing. So as we are going to practice meditation now, friends, for about 15 minutes, I want you to know that the mind's nature is to think. But what we need to do is we need to anchor it. We will bring it to one thing, and the easiest is to bring it to the breath. So when we sit, we can sit with our hands crossed, with our legs crossed. We can bring our awareness to the breath. And all we are going to practice is awareness. A relaxed awareness, not a tensed awareness that we were taught in classes, that you have to pay attention. And usually there's a little tension that happens in that. So here, when we are practicing meditation, we are closing our eyes and all our awareness is going within, but it's a relaxed awareness. It's a mindfulness, becoming aware of whatever is happening. So becoming aware of the in-breath as that's happening, of the out-breath as the breath is going out. And as we do that, I want you to also know that we all may have certain kind of illnesses or certain kind of energy blockages. Just because living in such a stressed life, in such a rushed life, we gather a lot of these kind of blockages. So when you now sit for meditation and you sit in this way with the hands and legs crossed, and when we start receiving this energy, it's very natural to feel maybe a little heaviness on the head, or maybe certain sensations as if an ant is crawling, as if a mosquito is biting in certain places of your body. I'm sure most of you are joining indoors and there may not be any mosquitoes and ants. So all that we need to do is we need to know that there is this beautiful energy that we may be receiving, and we have to just continue to be with the breath. Don't try to scratch yourself. As you be with it, the healing automatically starts to happen. So are we ready? Would we be okay to meditate for about 15 minutes? Friends, I'll just play some background music. If anybody wants to just tell me anything or ask anything before we start, so we can just end in that silence if anybody wants to share anything after the meditation. And if anybody likes to just enjoy that silence, it would be absolutely okay for you to just leave the call after that. Yeah, so are we ready? Just one moment. You can sit with your eyes closed, my dear friends. With your back straight, preferably. Bring your awareness to your breath. Become aware of the incoming breath and the outgoing breath. Allow yourself to become relaxed. All we are doing is being with our natural incoming and outgoing breath. We are not trying to change the rate of the breath, even if it's erratic. You may be aware of the breath at the entry of the nostrils or with the whole passage, or with the abdomen rising and falling. Whatever comes easy to you, natural to you, is good for you. Meditation is really being natural. Meditation is really befriending your own self. Allow yourself to just ride on the wave of your breath. Let your breath take you deeper within yourself. There is nothing to fear. All you have to do is maintain a non-judgmental attitude. If there are any sensations that may be happening, pleasant or unpleasant, and you just watch them Just accept them. If you notice your mind going here and there, just notice the thought and accept it and simply come back to your breath. Your breath is the anchor. Simply keep going deep within yourself with the breath. And as I say that, there is nothing that you have to do. Just be with the breath. Let the breath take you. Meditation is just bringing all your awareness within yourself. Meditation is really becoming your own friend in the true manner. You are the master. Your mind is a tool that has been given to you, is your servant. If your mind goes here and there, just simply command it to come back. This is the time now to be with the breath. And there is no guilt to feel. Simply, without wasting a single moment, you just come back to the breath. Watch everything that's happening within you. Let yourself get comfortable with the silence. Let yourself enjoy the silence. All our answers are actually within ourselves, in this silence. Let the breath take you deeper inside this silence. Where there is joy, where there is peace, let the breath take you there. Let yourself feel it. Let yourself sense it. Recognize that this joy just comes from within yourself. Pay attention to this joy that you may be sensing, this peace that you may be sensing. Take notice of this. Anchor this in your body. So that you notice, you watch, you recognize that the source is within you of all the joy, of peace. For the next 3 minutes, maintain complete silence. Just let yourself drown in this feeling. Just be with the breath. Your breath, which is the anchor, which is the master. Even though you'll be coming back now, you can tune in, you can just come back to this anchor and you can tune into this peace, this joy, so that the fragrance of this peace, this joy can spread in your entire day. In your day, as you take 1 or 2 minutes of this break and bring yourself to the breath, you're able to tune into this peace, this silence, this joy. Knowing this, anchoring it in your body for the moment. You are now feeling ready to come back. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. Slowly you can rub your palms together, cover your eyes with them, and then slowly you can open your eyes. Welcome back. In case any one of you wants to leave, they can leave. If anybody wants to just share any of their experience or also ask a question, I'm available. Yes, Samir, that's the nature of the mind. Samir asked, the moment you close your eyes, the mind wanders in all possible direction. How to anchor the mind? So, Samir, for the longest time, we have actually not been paying attention to. And just like a servant which has become the master of the house, the master has not been available, the servant does throw the tantrums. So it is just practice. It is knowing that its nature is to go here and there. However, when we are commanding it, when we are saying this is the time to sit half an hour, you need to now just be here. We have to just keep practicing it. It's like, you have a horse and the horse is your friend, you take good care and you want to ride it. But when you get on after a long time, it is going to just throw a tantrum. So you just have to pull the reins of the horse and really say, this is what we are doing now. So sit here for half an hour. My suggestion is that put an alarm so that we really know, otherwise the mind keeps going, how much time would it have been? So it helps to just put an alarm and say till the alarm goes, I'm going to just sit. So just practice. Thank you, Joshua. On how to control palpitations. Sunny, my suggestion would be don't pay attention to it. If you try to control it, there's a problem. It doesn't get controlled. The palpitation, which is the heartbeat, is basically by the autonomic nervous system. Our brain, the autonomic nervous system, is the one that's controlling it. Our thinking mind is parallel, it does not have any control on it. So with your thought, with wanting to control it, you cannot. But because you may want to control it, actually it may create a conflict. So what you need to do is you be with the breath and let it be. It'll settle down. You don't pay attention to it. So you notice it. However, don't get bothered by it. Thank you, Shitiza. Thank you. Sorry you couldn't hear the music, I guess. Wonderful. So have a wonderful day for all those who are joining from the US and other places. Thank you so much for joining. Jim, are we okay to say bye-bye now? Jim, are you on the call still? Or Dhwani or Nicole, one of you,
Yep,
can
you're
we?
okay. You can
Yeah,
end now. Hi,
okay.
everyone.
Have a
Bye.
wonderful day, a wonderful evening to all in Mumbai and India. Bye bye. Namaste.